Okay, hello. We are going to explain our project. My group is Juan David Castañeda, Luis Carlos Carrion, and who's talking to you, Diego Alejandro Mayorga. Luis is going to start with the explanation.
Okay. First of all, I'm gonna explain the architecture and technologies for use. For this type of structures, there is a designer pattern called chain of responsibility that what is intended to management to processing of objects. Each object having the process logic. The pattern is Redux, and this is a pattern can you save us a lot of if sentences and else's by enforcing the open closing principle solids. Open to extensions close modification has a will be later. um, Diego, please are mega petitions in the endpoint for uh, can see the state of Redux. Well, I continue explain. We can to do this with a JavaScript proxy, which currently implements the proxy pattern below, which will be where we keep the state. In this proxy, we can capture all the mutations of these values, and having all these, we only need to connect the components of our application with this state, which is has follows. Now, every time we mute the state of the state manager, we can launch actions which will be observed. Um, uh, Diego, prove a search component, please. And we are going to see a Redux pattern. Well, let's explain how React Redux works. The operation of Redux has a model that controls throws and interface actions that are sent to the store of the applications. We are handle divisions by concepts, and on way to so a structure or a project is be grouping files by concept. For instance, all the files related to Redux actions will be under the actions folder, all their components under the components folder, and so on. The following image show the structure, the Redux, the each states for handle this pattern. The advantage of this type of structure is that all folders contains and states sorry contains files with a specific state on the Redux, and these states related to each information in management handle or handling over applications, and make change the components, the observer pattern. We have these have um, a focus in the state of the management application. And for next, my folk Juan Diego continue explain. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to explain you about the Firebase in our application. And in this case, I'm going to delete the account that I have in the application, and I'm going to show you how it uh, is working. Now I'm going to create a new account. In this case, I will go to cart, and I will make me go to the login place. So in this case, we have two options: login with an account that you can create here in the register um, place, or you can also sign in with Google. So in this case, we are going to sign in with Google. I'm going to choose one of my accounts, and as you can see, we are now logged in the application. We can prove, for example, things like card. In this place, we can see a new um, place where we can, as we can see, it is private, and we are placing in card. So we can realize that the that this place is now called as private, and it is not now public. Uh, as we can see also, we can log out from our application, and if we go to the card, it is also in the place of login. So on Firebase, if I refresh the page, I can see we can see that now we have an email with the Google uh, way of being logged, the creation date, the access date, and UID of the user. So here we can see the options that I already showed you. We can delete the account and do these other things in this place. So here we can see the sign-in method. We have two methods or login in the application. So the first, as I said you, is with the email. If you log in, or if you register with the uh, email that you can choose, and also you can log in with Google. And here we can see the public name in the project, the email of the assistants in the project also. And here we can add, for example, a list sure of sure entities of the ID of the customer. And also we can see the ID of the client web and the secret of the web customer. And that's all about Firebase. Now we are going to listen to Juan David, that he is going to continue with the explanation.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the API selected. We selected the API, the MUI database. Going to that page. That okay. In this website, it gives us an API with which we can identify our selects. We are making a synchronous request through a method called Axios. We are obtaining from this API the movies, their categories, their posts, and data about them. Okay, let me. There is an example of the use of this API by giving a click in the.
Yes.
Okay, we can look at example of using this API. Okay, look, we could get a. Oh, sorry, give me a second. We could get a example of use the if we use this API, we can get uh, anything similar to this. Now, they're going to talk about our requirements.
Okay, now I'm going to explain you about the requirements, the functional requirements in our application. Um, in the first requirement function, we can see the view movie one, and the description about this requirement is allowed from the from the main page. to see the post and the title of the movie. So in this case, we can see as the first way of viewing the movie of the application. In the second requirement, we can add movie to shopping cart. It has two dependencies, the R1 and R3, and the description of this requirement is allowed from the main page. Add a movie to shopping cart if it is logged. In the requirement number 3, we have the login one, and the dependence are is in this case the requirement number 4. And the description of this requirement, it is allow login if it is synced if it is synced up. The requirement number 4 is the sign up. The description of this requirement is allow sign up to the application. The requirement number 5 is view shopping cart. It has one dependence, that is the requirement number 3, and it has the description of this requirement is to allow from the shopping cart all movies added to cart. In the requirement number 6, we have the view movie information one. The dependence is the requirement number 1, and the description is to allow from the movie page shows description, post movies, categories, and movie commentaries. In the requirement number 7, we have the make commentary, and the dependence of this requirement is the requirement number 6. The description of this requirement is to allow from the movie page make a commentary. The requirement number 8 is to view profile. It has one dependence, that is the number 3, and the description of the requirement is to allow show profile with data of current user. In the requirement number 9, we have the move movie one, and it has two dependencies that are requirement number 3 and 5, and the description is to allow from the shopping cart by movies are added in other page. And the last requirement, the requirement number 10, is to recover the password, and it has one dependence, that is the requirement number 4. And in the description of this one is to allow from recovery page to retrieve password if it is registered.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about user histories. Uh, the user histories of this first part that we finished are this. For the first epic, uh, the user histories sign up mode, and this you can register in for two ways, through a Google account or a normal registration sign up. The second user history is the login mode, same as sign up. For the Epic home management. Okay. We finished the user history navbar with filter by genre. Navbar in where we can find the options search, login, CMAT, and home feed, and search home in that we can search any movie by title. Okay, now Luis is going to talk about the operation of the application.
Okay, give me a second, please. First of all, Diego, you can you create a new user, please, in create new account? Okay. um, Name, email, password, and if you want the file form, we can see the handle errors. Okay. Second, we are direct to logout. please. For let's see, handle register users in login. In login and sign up with email password, please. Okay, and second, for the application critical path, is the search a movie. Please search a movie. Another thematic. Okay, and the other path is the adventure adventure actions. Filters the quiz for the genres. And so finally to a presentation. Thank you for your attention.